Good morning, everyone. Jackie Bloom here, independent consultant for Close to My Heart, and it's TGIF, art time. Hope your Friday is going well. I'm so happy it's Friday. We'll give people just a minute to see who's out there, and we'll get started. Just waiting for my camera to catch up, or actually my laptop. Okay. See where we are. Alrighty. Turn that down so I'm not hearing myself. Alright. And we will get started. Alright. So today we are going to be working with the paints and a paintbrush and a stamp set. Here's the first card, and it's just literally on the card. And our second sample is this one. Just waiting for the camera to catch up. Ooh, I'm getting better. Fonda, are you, or not Fonda, Jody, are you out there? Looky, looky. I'm actually in the camera today. Okay, so here's the third one, which I think is my favorite. I don't know. I kind of like all of them for different reasons. Okay. Just waiting for the laptop to catch up. Good. Good. Okay. So the first thing that I did was I went to our cartridges, and this is from Artfully Sent, and I printed out these two designs. Now keep in mind that this is just cardstock, white cardstock. I couldn't find my stencil paper, or my stencil plastic. So you can use a paper if it's a nice heavy weight like ours. And apologize if you hear my husband in the background. So you can use a paper stencil for a few times. Depends on how much water you use. So these are from Artfully Sent, and this looks kind of weird shaped because it's meant to fold down and then make a pocket. Okay, but this is kind of nice because it gives you room to have your hand and whatnot. Alright, so let's get started. And the stamp set we are using, we'll start with the circles. The stamp set we are using today is a Z3724. It's called Simple Florals. It does have where you can buy the thin cuts. And here is that stamp set. I like that it's got a lot of words. I like that it's got the little itty bitty pieces and focal points. Lots of different leaf sizes and patterns to choose from. Okie doke. And this is just a cardstock base. Let's pull out my paint. I'm actually going to put it that way. Two paintbrushes. And this is Close to My Heart, home office. Karen did a video, and that's where I saw this, and I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. So I thought I wanted to try it. Alright, so we've got our card base, and then you can just kind of put this however you want it. I don't want it straight, so I'm going to get a little water, put a little water in here, and I'm going to get some color. Now you might notice that I have my paints numbered. So if I do like this color and this color together, I can make a little note of what colors I put together. So because I'm using a paper one, you don't want to have too much water. And see how I had some little puddles? If I do that, there's a little puddle there. If you just go back, your paintbrush should pick that up. And basically I'm not worrying too much of what I'm getting there. I'm just going to use up all of that. If I wanted to, I could go back in and get a little darker. And that's basically all there is to getting that background. Now if you look, it's kind of dark in some areas, it's liney in other areas. There's a lot of different colors in there. And that's kind of what you want. Rinse that brush out. Put it back on here. Alright, so the next step, after you've done that, and you can see, it didn't really warp this or anything. There's not a lot of water on there. So next we are going to add this little stamp set, or this little piece. And I used glacier ink for that. And I'm just going to kind of go around and just lightly, and maybe even, you can't quite see it if you do that. I'm just going to kind of randomly follow along and stamp that. Okay? Just add a few. No rhyme, no reason, just do it. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this leaf here. I'm going to wet my paintbrush. Now this is where you kind of don't want a whole lot of water. You want enough, and this is just some paint I had over here, because I know it's the color I want, and it's this one, 28. So I'm just going to load up my brush, because that'll make it. And what you want to do is just paint on the stamped image, and you got to be careful not to pick something that will let you easily paint it, that doesn't go into like these little grooves in there, because you don't really want paint there. So I'm putting a lot of paint on, and this is drying, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is just get my layer of paint on. Sorry if you couldn't see that. And then, so if you don't have the patience for that, I suggest just stamping it. Alright, then I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm just going to kind of draw that water down. Oops, got a little too much. I just took my paintbrush and dabbed it on my cleaning cloth. Okay, and now we are going to put that on there. So it's just a matter of figuring out, getting a lot of paint on. Sorry, out of focus again. Remember up here, it's kind of an awkward position. Alright, this one is kind of forgiving. Obviously you need a solid stamp to do this. So we're just making sure that it's wet. And that's all there is to that. So, get enough paint on there. And just go back and wet it. And stamp it. Kind of let it sit a little bit, and this is the look that you get. It's kind of there but not there. And see right here, I don't have quite enough. I'm going with my little paintbrush. Just paint it in. Maybe get it a little wetter so it's a little lighter. And I can just fix that. Okay. so that's how you do that. And then spray down your stamps. That way you can clean that off. And I wouldn't let them sit too long with paint on them. I mean, it'll come off, but just don't let it sit too long. And there you go, a nice clean stamp again. Alright, so then I just went in with black ink. And this is pretty dry. I mean, it dries quickly because you're not using a whole lot of ink. I'm going to just put my just because right down there. And then I cut out some images of the flowers. And here's the finished one again. And look, they all look a little different color. So I cut out, this one's layered, all the rest are not. And for this center, I just used the little paintbrush, picked up a little bit of color, and just dabbed it on there. If it made a puddle, then like I said, wipe your paintbrush off, dab it onto there if there's a puddle, and it'll pick it back up. Okay, and then the last step that I did for this card, before I put on the flowers, was a little bit of gray shimmer brush. And I'm going to take this stamp off of here. So the way I like to control it, get ink all over me, is I like to put it on a block, get some on there, and then, let's see, can you see me? Yes. Let's do this, cover up our paints just a little bit, and then I just flick it on. The more wet you have, the more you're going to get on there. And there you go. Now you can just leave this on here and use it later, or you can wipe it off on your, where you're cleaning your stamps with. Okay? Alright, so that's that one. And next is this one. And I'm going to show you this and this, and how I got, and this is basically the same thing, sort of, as we stenciled before, so maybe I'll just show you the little one. You'll get the idea. So here's our stencil, and it's nice with the little one because you can line it up. And I just kind of split the difference. Oops. Gonna wiggle around on me on this slick mat. So I'm going to put that down, move this all the way, and I'm going to move this back down so I can get my paint. Move this up so you can see. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tina. Hello. Alright, so put that there. Wiggle it around a few times because, you know, I'm on air. So, of course, it's not going to stay where I want it to. I'm going to take my bigger brush and let's go for what color do I want? What did I do in that color? That would help. Oh, I did kind of this color, which I've got as number 11. So again, wet your paintbrush enough to load up your paintbrush. You can actually slide it along the little well there, and that'll take some of it off. So this one, basically I'm going to hold in the middle. I'm just going to go back and forth. And put some paint down. Get a little more, that means it's going to be a little darker. In some places, you need a little water. You kind of get the feel for what you need as you do it. And there we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now if you're doing the whole card, let's change color. I'll set that aside. I'll put it up here. And it dries fairly fast. Look at that. It's already dry. So I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I'm going to go to a blue. Again, load up your brush. Take some of that wet off. Okay, so this is a card base. I am going to come down to where I'm getting the edge and the bottom. And as you go along, it's going to go lighter. And I'm just not really covering it to any great extent. Okay, so obviously, look at all that pretty color. And then we just find our registration like you would wallpaper and make sure that you're holding on to something. Now I've put that one layer down and I didn't let my stencil dry. That's why I'm getting a little bit different colors, but that's okay. It's art. It's supposed to be fun and different and all that stuff. So hopefully most of that color is transferred. Okay, like so. And then we just go up to the top. One more time. Like so. Pick up some more color. And there you have, oops, look at that, I missed one. But it's easy enough to line up. And like I said, if I'd had my stencil paper, I would have done it with my stencil, and then I could have wiped it off and the color would be more true, wouldn't pick up any color from the paper. And the stencil is still looking pretty good. I'm going to have to let it dry before I do any more. And that's what you get. So you can see it did pick up a little bit of that color, but since it's this color, it's not going to matter. It kind of blends in. And then you can stamp and do what you want. And then I want to show you one more thing. On the center of this flower, I just took my shimmer brush and I just, am I on camera? Yes. I just stuffed it in there. And then on this one, and you want to kind of see how it's kind of fanned out, so I'm just going to take it and put it in my lid to get more of a point. So that way I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I kind of do different sizes. You know, I mean, you're basically just dabbing it on there. And then you got to let that dry. If you touch it now, it's going to smear. So that's how I did the center of this one. Right there. And you can see on this one, I just did the background with the shimmer brush and left this alone. And this is that other, I call it foof, as Rachel does. This little foofy part, the little extra bits. Okay, and this one here I'm just going to talk about. You know how I did this. Now this, for the circles, I just put this on the diagonal and painted it on diagonally. That's how you get that kind of this look. Okay, I did this background with black shimmer brush as opposed to this one. This one had you can see it better that way. This one has the charcoal and this is your black. A little bit different. Okay. So I just layered, and like I said, I splattered all of that. I did not splatter that, and I did touch the centers with the shimmer brush. Okay. Alright, since I got all dressed up, I'm going to say hi. Hello everyone. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me some comments. Let me know what was your favorite card. Share it with anybody that you think would like this technique. Give it a try and put your finished product cards, whatever you do, layouts, could be great on layouts too. You could, because I made the stencil on Cricut, you can make the circles a lot bigger, and you know, that would work for scrapbooking. Or you could do the smaller, or you could do a mixture of big and small. That'd be kind of cute, like the diamond pattern. That'd be really pretty. And yeah, say hi. Let me know. Oh, hi Jody. Nice to see you. Watch the rest of it on replay. I will post. Jody, I did better centering stuff under the camera, so you'll be happy to see stuff. Let me know if if there's any other comments that will help me. And take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Happy crafting.